Hi, I'm Dr. Cheryl Schwartz, and I'm here today to launch the very first video for our series that is being brought to you on Patreon, and I'm hoping to entice you to join us. For the first video, I couldn't think of, well, how should we start? And the universe provides. My dear friend and cohort, Nick the cat, with the black cat with the crooked tail, didn't come home last night. And this morning he came in and he was limping and he looked out of his body. And I saw that he had bite wounds below here and also here. And when I approached him, I started to go out of my mind. So the very first thing that I'd like to share with you is when you see your animal come in, whether it's a cat or a dog or a rabbit or whoever else you have, and they've been gone and you've been concerned, and they come in and they look like they've had trauma. The first thing that I recommend you do is take a breath. Because as soon as you see they're out of their body, we instantly get out of our body and we're no good to anybody. So in addition to breathing, I recommend that you thank the universe and your animal for being healthy enough to be able to come home to you. And I stay in that thankfulness while I go to my next step. My next step is flower essences. Flower essences like rescue remedy, either the cream or the liquid, and they make it for humans or animals. Flower essences help on the emotional, mental, and spiritual basis to bring you back into your body. They're homeopathic preparations that the flowers give to us. In addition to the Bach flower rescue remedy, there are amazing companies out there like Paralandra, like California Essences, like the Flowers Essence Society, Tree Frog Farms, Flora of Asia. There's a lot of different companies, and I recommend that you look for one that you like. The rescue remedy happens to be very helpful to me, and it's very easy to access. I put some on me, take a few drops for me, and give a few drops to your animal. And then I look to homeopathic remedies to help to mitigate the pain, the inflammation, the tissue damage. And there are 3 basic homeopathic remedies. Homeopathy are substances that are found in nature that, if taken in their physical form as is, can create the same type of symptoms that you'd like to get rid of. And what homeopathy does is it takes those substances and dilutes them down with different succession of dilutions until there's almost no physical substance left. But what is released are energetic frequencies that mix with your internal biological frequencies to mediate and mitigate the trauma. The remedies that we'll talk about, there are 3 of them today, and they're all in what they call a 30C potency, and 30C is like a milligram dosage if you are familiar with Western medication and not homeopathy. Those of you watching may be very familiar with homeopathy, so I'm not going to go into a big discussion. The 3 are Arnica Montana, Ledum Palustre, and Hypericum Perforatum. And again, there are different companies that make this. I have the boron variety here. Hahnemann Labs makes it. Doliso makes it. Oliso makes it. Highlands makes it. Again, there are a myriad of companies, and they're all reputable. And I suggest that you use the one that's available locally in your health food store or through your practitioner. Arnica is the remedy from the flower that's found in the high mountains in the wild form, helps with tissue disturbance. It deals with infection, inflammation, swelling, tissue damage, skin damage, and takes contusions and bruising down. One of the best homeopathic first aid remedies for decreasing inflammation. The second one is Ledum Pal, and Ledum Palustre is marsh tea, and Ledum Palustre is used for puncture wounds. So you know when there are bite or claw wounds that come in, on the surface, they're very, very small, but underneath they create larger areas that can get infected and inflamed and painful. Ledum Pal helps to deal with that. It will heal from the top down. The third one is Hypericum Perforatum, and Hypericum is St. John's wort. St. John's wort is that happy plant that we use to get rid of depression when we use it in the herbal form. And if you've ever seen a Hypericum bush, it's, hi, I'm here, happy, happy Hypericum. You cannot stay depressed. In the homeopathic form, it's used to decrease pain from nerve injury. So it's used for all of those places on the skin and in the tissues where there's a myriad of nerves. Whenever there's a bite wound or trauma, the blood vessels and the nerve endings get all crazy. Hypericum helps to decrease the inflammation in the nerves and to take pain away. You take these 3 remedies and take 2 pellets from each of these bottles. You put it in a 1-ounce dropper bottle, and then you add several drops, maybe 5, 6 drops of rescue remedy or your other emergency flower essence. And then you fill the bottle half to 3/4 full of water, and then you shake the remedy against your hand. This will activate it. You wait for a little bit until the pellets are mostly dissolved, and then you take a dropper and you put it in the side of the mouth. I usually use 2 droppers if I can get it. If I can't and it will create too much trauma to get it into your animal's mouth, you can spray some around. You can put it on their heads, on their paws, on a part of their body. And being diluted, it doesn't have the alcohol from the rescue remedy, so that it's safe. If they lick it, there's no issue going on. And I will use this combination remedy anywhere between 2 and 3 times during the first hour when they come in. You will see they will start to relax and fall asleep, hopefully, but at least come back into their body, which the flower essence has already started happening. I then give the dose 2 or 3 times during that first day, sometimes 4 times, and the next day, you may need it 1 more time. So these remedies are used for an initial acute trauma, bite wound injury. If there is an abscess that's coming up, we would use another remedy called silica, but we're not going to look at that remedy right now. We're going to just look at the first emergency remedies. The last thing I'd like to add is an acupressure point that you can find at the end of your elbow crease. Just bend your elbow. Acupressure points are found in the valleys in front of the bones. And this area is called large intestine 11. If they're like this, it's right at the corner of their elbow. And on both sides, or whichever side you can get to, this is a point that you can use to decrease inflammation, especially in the upper part of the body. It also brings in white blood cells to the body in order to guard against infection and shock. So that's our first 10-minute video brought to you in combination with my great cat, Nick. And I say thank you, and I hope you will join us through Patreon. Thanks a lot. See you soon.